ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे. Let me just say a few verses in glorification of Lord Ram. लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं करुण्यरूपं करुणाकरन्तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये. माता रामो मत्पिता रामचन्द्र स्वामी रामो मत्सखा रामचन्द्र सर्वस्वं मे रामचन्द्रो दयालु. नान्यं जाने नैव जाने न जाने, आपदामपहर्तारं दातारां सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्. रमन्ते योगिनो नन्ते सत्यानन्दे चिदात्मनि इति रामापदेनासौ परं ब्रह्मा विधीयते. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. Hare Krishna. Rekha Mataji, Priyanka Mataji, Poonam Mataji, Rakshita Mataji, my mom and dad, and Nagachandra Prabhu. Okay, thank you for joining. So let's read. We decided we'll read from 9th canto. There are two to three chapters that are dedicated to Lord Ram's pastimes, and this chapter 10 of 9th canto, it's called, I'll show you. So this is canto 9 is called Liberation, and the chapter 10 is called the Pastimes of Supreme Lord Ramacandra. So I thought we'll take turns reading. It's not a class, it's like reading. We won't share much because we want to try to cover as much ground. So I think maybe we can quickly summarize in 1 or 2 lines, but keep moving through the verses. And I was asking all the devotees if you want to read purports or do you just want to read the verse and the translation. So think about that and let me know. पहली verse में तो कोई purport नहीं है, so we can start. So I can.
Hare Krishna. Before we start, I have just one question.
Yes.
Do you want me to put out a message for a meeting also later on after the class, or no, or later? That will be separate.
Let's do it tomorrow after tomorrow's class.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Let's do this. So please recite, lead and follow like we typically do Bhagavatam reading. Shri Shuka Vacha, Shri Shuka Vacha, Khatwanga Dirgha Bahuscha, Khatwanga Dirgha Bahuscha, Raghustasmat Prithu Shrava,
Raghustasmat Prithu Shrava,
Ajastato Maharajas, Ajastato Maharajas, Tasmad Dashratho Bhavat, Tasmad Dashratho Bhavat. Translation by His Divine Grace, our beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shukdev Goswami said, the son of Maharaj Khatwanga was Dirgbahu, and his son was the celebrated Maharaj Raghu. From Maharaj Raghu came Aja, and from Aja was born the great personality Maharaj Dashrath. So this is giving the dynasty of Lord Ramachandra, the Suryavanshi dynasty in which Lord Ramachandra was born. So this is giving us the lineage. So we know that Lord Ram is the son of Maharaj Dashrath. Maharaj Dashrath was born to great personality Aja. Aja was born to Maharaj Raghu. So that's why he's called Raghuvanshi. So Raghuvansh Reet Sada Chali Aaye, Pran Jaye Par Vachan Na Jaye. So this is Maharaj Raghu from in whose vansh, in whose dynasty comes Lord Ram. And so Maharaj Raghu's father is Dirgbahu, and Dirgbahu's father is Maharaj Khatwanga. Khatwanga Maharaj, as you might remember, is very famous. I won't go into details because we have to keep going forward. But this is the lineage of Lord Ram. If somebody remembers who Maharaj Khatwanga was, please share later. Otherwise, I'll share later. But let's keep going. So, who wants to read this next one? And please let me know if you want to read purport or should we just keep doing translations. There are 55 verses in this chapter. And please keep reading. If not, I'll keep reading all of these. So, because I want to keep moving. Okay, so since nobody's
I can
raising,
read. Hare
okay, go
Krishna.
ahead. Yeah, we have to quickly raise our hands and keep, or not even raise, just unmute and keep going. No time to shy. Okay.
Tasyapi Bhagavanesha
Tasyapi Bhagavanesha
Dakshad Brahman Mayo Hari
Sakshad Brahma Mayo Hari
Am Amsham Amsham Shena Chaturdhagat
Amsham Shena Chaturdhagat
Putraptam Prarthita Suray
Putratvam Prarthita Suray
Rama Lakshmana Bharata
Rama Lakshman Bharata
Shatrughan iti samyana.
Shatrughna iti samgaya.
Translation and perfect. Can you read actually?
Okay, sure.
Driving?
Are you driving? Okay. Being prayed for by the demigods, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth Himself, directly appeared with His expansion and expansions of the expansion. Their holy names were Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna. These celebrated incarnations thus appeared in four forms as the sons of Maharaj Dashrath. So, demigods prayed. We know that Lord often comes at the request of his devotees or demigods. And so, demigods prayed. That's how Krishna also appeared. So, then the absolute truth, the Param Satya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, himself came along with his expansions. And we also know that Lord comes with his associates. अकेले नहीं जाते भगवान जैसे बड़े लोग दुनिया के सेलिब्रिटीज अकेले नहीं जाते ना दे गो विद देयर एंटोराज सो लॉर्ड इज द सुप्रीम पर्सन he is bigger than any of the celebrities of this world. So he always comes with his expansion and expansions of the expansions. And those other expansions were Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna. And these celebrated incarnations appeared in the four forms as the sons of Maharaj Dashrath. तो ये चार फॉर्म्स हैं. ये चार फॉर्म्स होती हैं बेसिकली जो संकर्षण या लॉर्ड बलराम से चार चतुर्व्यूह आता है. द फर्स्ट चतुर्व्यूह इज वासुदेव, प्रद्युम्न, अनिरुद्ध and Sankarshan. So those four, Vasudev, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Sankarshan, those four appear as Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna. So these are the four forms. I vote that we keep going. I know that we should read Prabhupada's purport, but just that we don't have too much time. What do you say, Nagarchand Prabhu, Rakshita Mataji, Muna Mataji?
I think if we have to do 55 verses, then we will not be able to do the purports. But if you want to just quickly just read and not talk about the purports, we can do that. Like really quickly read.
नहीं ऐसा करते हैं ट्रांसलेशन ही पढ़ते हैं. Let's give everybody taste of Bhagavatam.
Okay.
तो ठीक है. Who wants to read the next one?
I can read Mataji.
Yes.
तस्यानुचरितं राजन्
तस्यानुचरितं राजन्
ऋषिभिस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः
ऋषिभिस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः
श्रुतां हि वर्णितां भूरि
श्रुतं हि वर्णितं भूरि
तव्यसितापतेर्मुहुः
त्वया सीतापतेर्मुहुः.
Okay. Translation. O King Parikshit, The transcendental activities of Lord Ramchandra have been described by great saintly persons who have seen the truth. Because you have heard again and again about Lord Ramchandra, the husband of Mother Sita, I shall describe these activities only in brief. Please listen. Hare Krishna.
So that's what I was saying before, that Shukdev Goswami knows that Parikshit Maharaj has been brought up hearing pastimes of Lord Ramchandra again and again. So he said, because you have heard them again and again about Lord Ramachandra, the husband of Sita, I shall describe these activities only in brief. तो इसलिए संक्षिप्त में ही बता रहे हैं. He's not going into too much details. That's why only 2 to 3 chapters are dedicated to Lord Ramchandra's activities in Bhagavatam. And of course, uh, Parikshit Maharaj was very, very familiar with them. So Shukdev Goswami is not spending too much time. This is a very different meter. I can try to read this one. Gurvarte tyakta rajayo vyacharad anuvanam padma padbhayam priyayam. Gurvarte
Guruvarte
Arthe
tyakta
tyakta rajayo vyacharad anuvanam padma padyam priyaya.
पाणी स्पर्शाक्षमभयामृजितपथो रुजुयो हरीन्द्रानुजाभ्यम् पाणी
Panisparshakstam abhyam
स्पर्शाक्षमभयामृजितपथ
mirita patho
रुजोयो
rujo harinju
हरीन्द्रानुजाभयम्
nuja bhayam.
वैरूपयाचुरश्रुपनखाय प्रिया विरह रुषरूपिता विजृम्भा
Verupaya
वैरूपयाचुरपनखा
churpanakaya
प्रिया
priya
विरह
viraha
रुषरूपिता
rusharopita bruvijamba.
त्रस्ताब्धिर्बद्धसेतुखलादवदहना कौशलेन्द्रोऽवतान्ना
Trastabdirbadha setu kala
त्रस्ताब्धिर्बद्धसेतुखलादवदहना
davadana koshalandro
कौशलेन्द्रोऽवतान्ना.
vatana.
A different type of meter. So this is a famous verse actually. It says, to keep the promise of his father intact, Lord Ramachandra immediately gave up the position of king and, accompanied by his wife, Mother Sita, wandered from one forest to another on his lotus feet, which were so delicate that they were unable to bear even the touch of Sita's palms. The Lord was also accompanied by Hanuman, or by another monkey, Sugriv, king of the monkeys, and by his own younger brother, Lord Lakshmana, both of whom gave him relief from the fatigue of wandering in the forest. Having cut off the nose and ears of Shrupnakha, thus disfiguring her, the Lord was separated from Mother Sita. He therefore became angry, moving his eyebrows and thus frightening the ocean, who then allowed the Lord to construct a bridge to cross the ocean. Subsequently, the Lord entered the kingdom of Ravan to kill him, like a fire devouring a forest. May that Supreme Lord Ramachandra give us all protection. Dibol. So this is like the whole Ramayana in concise form, and it's giving just few words about various pastimes of the Lord, that how he gave up the position of the king and had to go to the forest with his wife, and his feet, his lotus feet. Of course, we can glorify Lord Ram's lotus feet for ages and ages. But the main import of this verse is that the Lord's lotus feet were wandering around in the forest, even though they were so soft that even Mother Sita's palms were rough for those feet. They could not even bear the touch of Mother Sita's palms. These lotus feet that are the shelter of the whole universe, from an ant to Brahmaji take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Those lotus feet were wandering around in the secluded forests, accompanied by Sita and Lakshman. And later on, when Mother Sita was stolen by the devious demonic King Ravan, then he was also accompanied by Hanuman, Sugriv, and Lakshman, who were giving him relief from his fatigue. And he was feeling fatigued because he was separated from Mother Sita. He was in distress. His sorrow, if you read, Valmiki Ramayana, having lost Mother Sita, the sorrow of Lord Ram is described so amazingly by Valmiki. He keeps on saying that Lord Ram was shedding buckets and buckets of tears. So very, very in detail, his sorrow has been described. So this, it is said that that Ramayan is actually is a Karunya Leela. It is supposed to invoke this love and pain in the heart. You should feel pain. You should feel suffering of Lord Ram, and when you feel that suffering, your heart will melt. So that your heart melts for Lord Ram, that's why Lord comes and enacts these sad, sorrowful pastimes. So when you see his fatigue and his suffering, his tears, maybe your hard heart will also melt in love and distress from your separation from him. So that is typically the import of Ramayana. And this verse is giving the whole Ramayana in a very concise form. And then it says that he had cut off the nose and ears of Shrupnakham. Or Lakshman had cut off, and Lord was then, after that fight was when Ravan had come and separated Mother Sita from Lord, and then he became angry. His eyebrows were moving in such a way that they even frightened the ocean. You may remember the famous pastime when Lord Ram had threatened the ocean that he would dry up all his water if he did not comply with Lord Ram's wishes. So Lord Ram was so angry. And then he had constructed the Ram Setu, the bridge across the ocean, and he had entered the kingdom of Ravan to kill him like a fire devouring a forest. So, and may that Supreme Lord Ramacandra. So many aspects of his feat, his sorrow, his fatigue, his detachment, his kindness, his anger. All these aspects are given in this verse. Okay, we'll keep going. Who wants to read this next one? Okay, please keep reading.
Hari Bol.
Yes.
Verse 9.10.5. Vishwamitra dhruvare yen maricha dya nishachara.
Let's lead and follow. So lead and follow. Vishwamitra dhvare yena. Vishwamitra
dhvare lena.
Can you try now?
Vishwamitra dhvare yena.
Vishwamitra dhvare yena.
Vishwamitra dhvare lena.
nishachara.
Marichadya nishachara.
Pashyato Lakshmanasya seva. Pashyato
Lakshmansya
Hata Nairitta Pungava. Hata
Pungava.
Pungava.
11, 10, tell me. Eat some.
Translation. In the arena of the sacrifice performed by Vishwamitra, Lord Ramacandra, the king of Ayodhya, killed many demons, rakshas, and uncivilized men who wandered at night in the mode of darkness. May Lord Ramacandra, who killed these demons in the presence of Lakshmana, be kind enough to give us protection. Hari Bol.
So this is straightforward. So we know that Vishwamitra had come to get Lord Ramacandra from Dashrath Maharaj to save the sacrifices that the sages were doing. And these sacrifices, these yagyas, were being polluted by many demons. And you know that those demons were Marich and Subahu. So Marich, Subahu, and before Ramchandra also killed Tadaka. So these various demons were polluting the area of sacrifice. And so Vishwamitra had come to get Lord Ramchandra for this protection. So Lord Ramchandra in this way not only served Vishwamitra, but also wandered around and learned a lot from Vishwamitra. He killed many demons, rakshasas, and uncivilized men on that journey with Vishwamitra. And he was accompanied by Lakshmana. You know that Ramchandra and Lakshmana also learned many things and got many boons from Vishwamitra for serving him and So we are saying, may that Lord Ramachandra be kind enough to give us protection. Okay. Verse 6 and 7. Who feels comfortable reciting this? These are long. So this is our typical tune. Poonam Mataji, are you available? You want to try? Or
Yes,
Rakshita? Okay, go ahead.
माता जी आप हिंदी वाला नीचे करेंगे.
हाँ.
यो लोकवीर समित धनुरेशमुग्रम्
यो लोकवीरसमितौ धनुरैषमुग्रम्
सीता स्वयंवरग्रह दशतोपनीतम्
सीता स्वयंवरगृहे त्रिशतोपनीतम्
आदाय बालगजलील इवेक्षुयिष्टम्
आदाय बालगजलील इवेक्षुयष्टिम्
सज्जीय कृतं नृप निकृष्य वभञ्ज मध्ये
सज्जैकृतं नृपविक्रीष्य बभञ्ज मध्ये
जित्वा नृपगुणशीलवयोऽङ्गरूपाम्
जित्वानुरूपगुणशीलवयो अङ्गरूपम्
सीताभिधां श्रियमुरस्य अभिलब्धमानम्
सीताभिधां श्रियमुरसि अभिलब्धमानाम्
मार्गे व्रजन भृगुपते वर्यनयत प्ररूणम्
मार्गे व्रजन् भृगुपतेर्व्यन्यत्प्ररूढम्
दर्पं महीं कृत यश्रिराजबीजाम्
दर्पं महिम् अकृता यस्त्रिरराजबीजाम्.
O king, the pastime of Lord Ramachandra were wonderful like those of a baby elephant. In the assembly where Mother Sita was to choose her husband, in the mindest of the heroes of this world, he broke the bow belonging to Lord Shiva. This bow was so heavy that it was carried by 300 men. But Lord Ramachandra went and strung in it and broke it in the middle, just as a baby elephant breaks a stick of sugarcane. Thus the Lord achieved the hand of Mother Sita, who was equally as endowed with transcendental qualities of form, beauty, behavior, age, and nature. Indeed, she was the goddess of fortune, who constantly rests on the chest of Lord. While returning from Sita's home after gaining her at the assembly of competitors, Lord Ramachandra met Parashurama. Although Parashurama was very proud, having rid the earth of the royal order 21 times, he was defeated by the Lord, who appeared to be Kshatriya of the royal order. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this verse is describing the Vivah ceremony, Ram Sita Vivah. Vivah Pancham is sometimes is celebrated in some parts of the world or of India, where Ram and Sita's marriage ceremony is celebrated. So how he broke the bow of Lord Shiva very easily, like a baby elephant breaks a stick of the sugarcane. It's described here. And in this way, he achieved the hand of Mother Sita. And Mother Sita was equally endowed in beauty, in behavior, conduct, everything. And she's actually none other than the goddess of fortune herself. And then, of course, we know that how he met Parshuram and he broke the pride of Parshuram. Parshuram, admitted to Lord Ram that he had become proud after having defeated the Kshatriyas 21 times. So, but now he was defeated by the Lord, and Parshuram submitted to him. So this is that pastime. Okay.
Maji, I can read this one
Yes,
translation. Ya satya pasha parivita pitur nidesham
Ya satyapasha parivita piturnidesham.
स्त्रेणस्य चापि शिरसा जगृहे सभार्य
त्रैणस्य चापि शिरसा जगृहे सभार्या
राज्यं श्रियं प्रणयिनं सुहृदो निवासम्
राज्यं श्रियं प्रणयिना सुहृदो निवासम्
त्यक्त्वा ययो वनमसुनिव मुक्तसङ्गा
त्यक्त्वा ययौ वनमसून् इव मुक्तसङ्गा.
Translation and purport by Divine Grace Bhagavatam Swami. Path ki jai. Carrying out the order of his father, who was bound by a promise to his wife, Lord Ramchandra, left behind his kingdom, opulence, friends, well-wisher, residence and everything else, just a liberated soul, give up his life and went to the forest with Sita. Mataji, ये purport भी पढ़ना है?
नहीं माता जी, हम सोच रहे हैं कि ट्रांसलेशन ही कर लेते हैं.
ठीक है माताजी, okay.
You want to share anything?
So with this Mataji, now Lord Ram left everything after that promise Lord Dashrath gave to Maharaj Dashrath gave to Kekai. So now he left everything and he started left for forest with his wife Sita. That's it, Mataji.
Yes,
But
Mata.
yeah, just learning that it was so much opulence he had being a king, and it didn't take him a second to leave. That's something great to learn.
Yes, yes, he left everything, and the next day he was going to be king, and now he was told that instead of being coronated, he has to go to forest. So when he was told this, his smile did not even falter even a millimeter. Just his calm demeanor did not change at all. He's is completely peaceful, sober, smiling as usual, and he carried the promise of his father on his head. And he even told Mother Kikai that you did not have to use your two boons for this. I would have left if you had just told me, if you had just asked me, I would have left. I cannot deny you anything. You're my mother. So yeah, he was like, it says, just as a liberated soul, because liberated soul may be doing many functions in this world, like serving as a king, but they know that's their service as a king, and if the time comes when they have to leave it for a higher purpose, for a duty, then they do that with detachment. Just like Parikshit Maharaj left everything, and when Pandava's time came, Yudhishthir Maharaj and all the brothers and Mother Draupadi, they also left for the forest immediately. So like that, a liberated soul, he went to the forest. Okay. Anyone wants to read this one? Okay, this is also famous verse. I can read this one. Raksha swasur vyakrita rupam ashuddha buddhe. Raksha swasur vyakrita rupam ashuddha buddhe. Tasya khara trishiradushan mukhya bandhun. Tasya khara trishiradushan mukhya bandhun. जगने चतुर्दश सहस्रमा पर्णीया. जगने चतुर्दश सहस्रमा पारणीया. कोदण्डपाणिरात्मान उवास कृच्छ्रम्. कोदण्डपाणिरटमान उवास कृच्छ्रम्. एक्चुअली दूसरी ट्यून में भी हो सकता था ये काफी फेमस वर्स है ये. रक्षा स्वसुरव्याकृतरूपम् अशुद्ध बुद्धे तस्याखरा त्रिशिर्दूषन्मुख्य बन्धुन्. जग्ने चतुर्दशा सहस्रम् अपारणीया. कोदण्डपाणिरात्मान उवास कृच्छ्रम्. While wandering in the forest, where he accepted a life of hardship, carrying his invincible bow and arrows in his hand, Lord Ramacandra deformed Ravan's sister, who was polluted with lusty desires, by cutting off her nose and ears. He also killed her 14,000 Rakshasa friends headed by Khar, Trishar and Dushan. So this verse is saying that how Shrupnakha approached Lord Ram with her lusty desires, and because of her ashuddha buddhi, he killed her. Not killed her, sorry. He deformed her. He cut her nose and ears. So he deformed her. And then she sent these 14,000 Rakshasa soldiers or friends or, which were headed by these three demons called Khar, Dushan and Trishar. So these were all killed single-handedly by Lord Ram. And if you see, very beautiful name of Lord Ram is given here. One of his name is Kodandapanir. Kodandapanir means the one whose hand holds the bow and arrows. So Pani means hand. Like, for example, Vishnu is called Chakrapani, or Krishna is called Rathangpani because he lifted the wheel of the chariot to kill or to attack Bhishma. So that particular pastime he's called Rathangpani. And because Vishnu holds chakra in his hand, he's called Chakrapani. So similarly, Lord Ram holds the bow and arrow, so he's called Kodandapani. And in this way, he was wandering around in the forest, living a life of hardship, and these demons were disturbing them. And one of them was Shrupnakha, and then her 14,000 friends, along with Khar, Trishar, and Dushan, that were all killed. And you know that Shrupnakha then went to Ravan to invoke lusty desires in Ravan for Mother Sita. So she started describing to Ravan how beautiful Sita is and how he must have her. And that polluted, that association, that description polluted Ravan's mind. Okay. Who wants to read the next one? Nagarjuna.
I can read. Yeah.
I think Prinka Mataji wants to read. Yes, Mataji, please.
I can try.
Sita Katha Shravanati Pita
Rechayena.
Sena
I think this is the Brahma Samhita chant.
Shravanadipita Rechayena.
You can do it like that also.
Bilokya Narpate Tasa Kandharena
Srishtam Vilokya Nripate Dashkandharena.
Jagani Bhutenya Vapusavate Prakrasto
Jagne Adbhutena
Vapusha
Vapushashamato Pakrishto.
Marichamashu Vishikena Yatha Kumagra
Maritam Ashukshikena Yathakam Ugra. Very nice,
King,
Mataji. Thank you.
O
Yes.
King Parikshit, when Ravan, who had 10 heads on his shoulders, heard about the beautiful and attractive features of Sita, his mind was agitated by lusty desires, and he went to kidnap her. To distract Lord Ramacandra from his ashram, Ravan sent Marich in the form of a golden deer, and when Lord Ramacandra saw that wonderful deer, he left his residence and followed it, and finally killed it with a sharp arrow, just as Lord Shiv killed Daksh.
Very bold. So this is straightforward. We know that he got agitated by lusty desires, and this was his weakness. Ravan's weakness was lust. And of course, if you have 10 heads on your shoulders, with one hand we get agitated so easily. So imagine he had 10 heads on his shoulders. So not only the pride was 10 times, the anarthas, all the anarthas were tenfold and maybe more. So lust was also 10 times and maybe much more. So he came to steal Mother Sita, and he distracted Lord Ramachandra by sending his uncle. Marich was his uncle, who had this boon that he could turn himself into any form. So he turned himself into a golden deer. And remember that Marich was defeated by Lord Ram before, Marich and Subahu were both defeated by Lord Ram before. Subahu had been killed and Marich had been thrown away very far when Ramachandra had gone to save Vishwamitra's. जब विश्वामित्र आए थे ना लेने, तो रामचंद्र ने इनको हराया था because these Subahu and Marich were polluting the yagya arenas and all. So Marich knew how powerful Lord Ramachandra is, yet he knew that it's better to be killed at the hands of Lord Ramachandra than to be killed at the hands of Ravan. So he wanted to be killed by Lord Ramachandra. So he changed in the form of a golden deer. He complied with Ravan's request and went to distract Lord Ramachandra. Now we're not saying this is a good action, but he was stuck in a rock and hard place, and he decided, okay, better to even though he's serving Ravan's interest and really doing a big disservice to Lord Ramachandra, which we should never do. We should never be serving demons of this world and going against Lord's interest, but that's what Marich did. But at least he knew that he would get liberation if he got killed by Lord Ramachandra. So then Lord killed him, just as Lord Shiva killed Daksha. Okay, let's, we have maybe 10 more minutes to read actually. So please read. Who wants to read the next one? Nagarjun, do you want to read?
Yeah. रक्षोधमेना वृकवाद्विपिन समक्षम्
रक्षोधमेनावृकवद्विपीने समक्षम्
वैदेहराजा दुहितार्यपायापितायम्
वैदेहराजा दुहितरी अपयापितायाम्
भ्राता वने कृपण्वत प्रियया वियुक्ता
भ्रात्रावणे कृपणवत् प्रियया वियुक्ता
स्त्री संगेन गतिम इति प्रतियं चर्चरा
स्त्रीसङ्गिनां गतिम् इति प्रथयांश्चचारा.
Translation. When Ramchandra entered the forest and Lakshman was also absent, the worst of the Rakshasas, Ravan, kidnapped Sita Devi, the daughter of the king of Videha, just as a tiger seizes unprotected sheep when the shepherd is absent. Then Lord Ramchandra wandered in the forest with his brother Lakshman, as if very much distressed due to the separation from his wife. Thus, he showed by his personal example the condition of a person attached to women. Hare Krishna. So here this is being described the pastime when after the taking away of the deer, the golden after Sri Ram went after the golden deer after being chastised by told by Mother Sita, and then Lakshman was also sent after chastisement from Mother Sita to kind of help Lord Ram, as Marich called out with in the sounds of Lord Ram and called to Sita that save me, and then Lakshman had to go after making that famous Lakshman Rekha. But the Ravana came as a beggar and as a sannyasi and actually asked for alms, and from Sita had to come out of that Lakshman Rekha to save to give alms to him. And then Ravan took away Mother Sita, as been described, just like wolf or tiger seizes the unprotected sheep when the shepherd is not there. So when Ram and Lakshman were not there at that time, Ravana took advantage of that time and as per his plan took away Mother Sita. And as Narangi Devi was describing, afterwards, when by not finding Sita over there, Shri Ram showed by example that how if because of his attachment, he showed that kind of because he was attached to Sita, and Sita asked that I need that deer, that golden deer. So despite knowing that it is a trap and it's actually a rakshas in the form of a deer, he went after that deer to find it for Sita, and because of his attachment, then he had to suffer the pangs of separation and cried loudly for Mother Sita. and showing by example that if one is too attached to the opposite sex, then this is what happens. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Nagarjuna Prabhu, for sharing. Yeah, he was so distressed that he was asking the mountains, the forests, the trees, the rocks, have you seen my Sita? I was actually reading Valmiki Ramayana, and very, very painful description is given of Lord Ram's sorrow. Okay.
Actually, this is sometimes condemned by other people, like people who want to blaspheme the religion and gods. They sometimes say this, that what kind of God you have, who is crying after his wife. He's not strong enough to protect his wife. He's crying at the when she has gone away. She's crying like this. So we should know the answers, that why, what is being depicted, and this from Shastras we should know the import of why such pastimes happen. So there are many different and deep understandings about this, which we can share sometime if anyone wants. Hare Krishna.
Yes, yeah, I'm not going into that discussion because Ramayana has, each line has numerous lessons, like just this fact that how Mother Sita, why did she feel compelled to give alms to the Brahman? Or why was Lakshman Rekha drawn? Or why did she cross Lakshman Rekha? Or the discussion she had with Lakshman before she provoked him enough that he had to leave. And then what did Ram say to Lakshman? Every single incident has numerous lessons, and those lessons are divided into three levels. One is for mundane people, one is for sadhakas or devotees like us, and the third level is for pure devotees of the Lord that are entering into the pastimes of the Lord. So depends on who you are talking to. You are talking about the mundane people of this world, so then they have to understand it from ordinary platform of duty. And कि duty का क्या role है? Lord Ram's Leela shows duty over love in his pastimes. And then second is हमारे लिए क्या lesson है जो प्रभुपाद ने दिया है कि when people get too attached to their family, to their people of this world, or let's say wealth or property or name or fame, and when those things are lost, what happens? How you become distressed. So that is why that distress is condemned, because for devotees, we understand that we should not be so attached to something like Bharat Maharaj to that deer, that when that we in a dutiful way, we should be, yes, helping that person. He should be looking for that. But why was he so distressed? So that can be understood from mundane platform, from devotees platform, and from a pure devotees platform. And each pastime has these three different understandings. So you can see how big the discussion can be on everything. We typically try to understand from devotees platform, and we should know what should we tell our ordinary people, but for our perspective, for our understanding, we should understand from devotees platform. Okay, let's keep going. Who wants to read this one? Let's see. Mataji, please put it.
दग्ध्वात्मकृत्य हतकृत्यमहन् कबन्धम्
दग्ध्वात्मकृत्या हतकृत्यम् अहन्कबन्धम्
सख्यं विधाय कपिविर्दयता गतिं तये
सख्यं
Sakyam
विधाय
vidaya
कपिभिर्दयिता गतिं
kapibhedayita
ते
gatinte.
बुद्ध्वात् वालिनी हते प्लवगेन्द्रसैन्ये
बुधवार
बुद्ध्वाथ
वालिनी
वालिनी
हते प्लवगेन्द्र
अतिप्लवगेन्द्र
सैन्ये
सैन्ये
बलां गात् स मनोज भवार्जिताङ्ग्रे
वेलामगात्सा
अगात्सा
मनुजोज
मनोजो
भवार्चिताङ्घ्रि.
भवार्चिताङ्घ्रि.
Jai Shri Krishna. Lord Ramchandra, whose lotus feet are worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, has assumed had assumed the form of a human being. Thus he performed the funeral ceremony of Jatayu, who was killed by Ravana. The Lord then killed the demon named Kavand, and after making friend with the chief, killing Vali and arranging for the deliverance of Mother Sita, he went to the beach of the ocean.
हरि बोल। तो इसमें तो ये बताया कि so then we know that Mother Sita was taken by Ravan, and Jatayu tried to save her, and was killed, or was almost half dead by the time Lord Ramachandra found him laying on the ground, and how he did and then Jatayu left while in the arms of Lord Ram, and he performed the funeral rite, the last ceremony of Jatayu. And then Lord killed this demon named Kabanda. I don't know if you remember, some of you. Kabanda was that demon who had these really long arms. ऐसे बढ़ती चली जा रही थी वो arms लक्ष्मण और राम की तरफ.
He
So
didn't have a body. He only had
हाँ.
a mouth and arms.
Yeah, here he has a aloo type body, long arms. I'm remembering a Moglila Prabhu's description as a potato man type with the long arms. So they had killed him, and then they reached Kishkindha. So यहाँ पे अभी ये चल रहा था आरण्य कांड. अब इसके बाद शुरू होता है किष्किंधा कांड. तो किष्किंधा कांड में they went to Kishkinda and they found Vali and Sugriv, and you know how upon Sugriv's behest and request they became friends, and the chief of the monkeys, the Vali, was killed by Lord Ram. So then this is a whole long pastime with numerous lessons. The Bali Sugriv's fight has numerous lessons. Sugriv's and Bali ki jo past history hai, how they became enemies, has numerous lessons. Then Sugriv ki interaction with Lord Ram, how Sugriv represents ordinary people of this world. Sugriv is like us, or we are like Sugriv. How that happens, how our consciousness is polluted and mixed consciousness in which we cannot trust the Lord. We just want to exploit the Lord for our benefits. Oh, there are so many lessons. So then that Kishkinda Kand happens. And so finally Lord arranges for the deliverance of Mother Sita. और फिर आपको पता है चतुर्मास का टाइम आता है, चतुर्मास का टाइम निकल जाता, because चतुर्मास is when it's rainy season, so they could not do much. When चतुर्मास season was crossed, जब वो 4 महीने निकल गए बरसात के, then finally they sent monkeys in different directions to find Mother Sita, and then how they found Mother Sita. थोड़ा सा और पढ़ते हैं, 5 minutes और, I guess. Anyone wants to read this? Okay, I can read. यद्रोष विप्रमा विवृता कटाक्षपाता.
Right in this the Brahmish Samhita.
Okay, sure. यद्रोष विभ्रम विवृता कटाक्षपाता. यद्रोष विभ्रम विवृता कटाक्षपाता. सम्भ्रान्त नक्रमकरो भयगीर्णघोषा. सम्भ्रान्त नक्रमकरो भयगीर्णघोषा. सिन्धु शिरसि अर्हणं परिगृह्य सिन्धु शिरस्य हरणं परिगृह्य पादारविन्दमुपगम्य बभाष एतत्. पादारविन्दमुपगम्य बभाष एतत्. After reaching the beach, Lord Ramachandra fasted for 3 days, awaiting the arrival of the ocean personified. When the ocean did not come, the Lord exhibited his pastimes of anger, and simply by his glancing over the ocean, all the living entities within it, including the crocodiles and sharks, were agitated by fear. Then the personified ocean fearfully approached Lord Ramachandra, taking all paraphernalia to worship him. Falling at the Lord's lotus feet, the personified ocean spoke as follows. So ये famous pastime है कि Lord Ramachandra, पहले he was trying to please the ocean, he was praying to him, and the ocean was not complying, was not listening to him. So then Lord had to exhibit his anger, and when he showed his anger, he उसको ललकारा उन्होंने ocean को, तब everybody was agitated, including ocean, and जितने भी living entities take shelter of the ocean like crocodiles and sharks, they were all agitated by fear. And this fear personified Lord Ramacandra के सामने ocean personified came to worship him. So भगवान की पूजा करने आया समुद्र खुद. And then the ocean spoke as follows. So what did ocean say? Who wants to read? Rakshita Mata, you want to read?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yes.
Na tvam vayam jaddiyo. Do you want to you read first and then I follow?
I can recite the shloka.
Yeah.
Yes.
Na tvam vayam jadodhiyo na vidam bhuman.
Na
tvam
tvam
vayam
vayam jaddiyo
jadadiyo nuvidama bhuman.
nunamun.
Kūtastamādipur ādipuruṣam jagatāmadīṣam.
Kūtastham adi
Tastamadi
purusham
purusham jagatamadi.
Yat sattvata suragana rajasa prajesha.
Yat
satvata
satvata suragana
surgana
rajasa
rajasa
prajesha.
prajesha.
Manyosh bhutapataya sabhavan gunesha.
Manyoscha
Manyoscha
bhutapataya
bhutapatya
bhavan
sabhavan
Ganesha.
gunesha. Translation, should I read?
Yeah.
O all-pervading Supreme Person, we are dull-minded and did not understand who you are. But now we understand that you are the Supreme Person, the Master of the entire universe, the unchanging and original personality of Godhead. The demigods are infatuated with mode of goodness, the Prajapatis with the mode of passion, and the Lord of Ghosts with the mode of ignorance. But you are the master of all these qualities. Haribo.
Okay. So Ocean is apologizing to the Lord that we are dull-minded and did not know who you are. So sometimes the Lord has to show his transcendental anger. So this anger is not like our anger. His anger is divine. So this anger liberates people. When he gets angry at dushtas, dusht people, उनका दमन करते हैं गुस्से में, so that liberates those people. So similarly, when he's getting angry at ocean, he's getting angry that you need to do this service. You need to serve me in my in this project, in this task, because otherwise people can be so dull-minded. Like ocean is saying, I'm so dull-minded that I did not understand who you are. You are the master of the whole universe, and you are unchanging. You're original, Adi Purush. And all these other demigods, Prajapatis, or Bhutapataya. Bhutapataya means ruler of the ghosts. They're all in different modes, like mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. But you are actually Gunadhish. You are the leader or master of all the three gunas. You're not Gunatit, you're Gunadhish. You are the master of the three gunas, whereas others are Gunatit. They're controlled by the three modes of material nature. So Ocean has so much knowledge, yet when he saw Lord Ram, he did not understand that this is Supreme Lord and was not complying with him. Okay, so sometimes devotees have to shake us into action. So sometimes our seniors will use, harsh, well, not harsh, but, they'll chastise us. They will get angry at us because they're trying to shake some sense into us. Otherwise, we are just absorbed in our own comfortable daily life and activities. And we have to be shaken into action, into serving the Lord. कि भगवान आए हैं, गुरु आए हैं, संकीर्तन मूवमेंट चल रही है, तुम क्या घर पे बैठे हो? So do something. So sometimes they have to shake us. We should not get upset at them. We should comply with their request and seek forgiveness. Okay, let's read this last one and then we'll stop. Who wants to read this one?
I can read.
Yes, Mataji.
Kamam prayahi jahi vishvavasoham vameham.
Kamam prayahi jahi vishravasovameham.
त्रैलोक्य रावणम् अवापनु वीरपत्नीम्
त्रैलोक्य रावणम् अवाप्नोहि वीरपत्नीम्
बधिनी सेतुम् इहाते यशसो वितये
बदनीः सेतुमिहते यशसो वितत्यै
गायन्ति दिग्विजयिनो यमुपेत्य भूपा
गायन्ति दिग्विजयिनो यमुपेत्य भूपा.
Translation. My lord, you may use water as you like indeed. You may cross it and go to the abode of Ravana, who is the great source of disturbance and crying for the three worlds. He is the son of Vishrava, but it is condemned like urine. Please go, please go kill him and then regain your wife Sita Devi. O great my water presents no impediments to your going to Lanka. Please construct a bridge over it and spread your transcendental fame. Upon seeing this wonderfully uncommon deed of your lordship, all the great heroes and kings in the future will glorify you. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, want to share something?
So, Mataji, here is the ocean who's telling Lord Ram that, you have to go and get back your wife. And then he's telling the status of Ravana, right? What he actually he is. But then because it's the pastime of the Lord, all these impediments actually telling us and showing us that even he being the Lord, right? He the one who created it, but still he's taking, the permission. So it to teaches us the way we should treat people. If we are big in our or we've achieved something in their life, we should not think that somebody else who's doing their role. Everybody is equal in the Lord's universe and Lord's creation. So we should give respect to everybody. We should not think that we are above them or we are something more than achieved in life. So they have no existence or they are, don't give value to them. So that's Lord Ram is teaching us here that we should, he's taking permission from the ocean. So, yeah, Mataji, that's my understanding.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, in this verse, actually, Ocean is saying now he's scared of Lord Ram. So he's saying, you may use my water as you like. And this is interesting. He's saying, the water in this ocean is condemned like urine. So, everything is meant for the service of the Lord. And if it's not used for the service of Lord, if we are using it for our own enjoyment, then that thing gets condemned. So that's why we have to use our house to make it temple. We have to use our body in the service of Lord. We have to use our mouth to speak Hari Katha and speak and chant Lord's names, right? So everything should become spiritualized, otherwise it's condemned. So he said, please use this and go kill that Ravan and regain your wife. He said, please build a bridge over it. And if you do this deed, this is just such a wonderfully uncommon deed. All the great heroes and kings in the future will glorify you. So, the famous Rāmasetu construction, that bridge, is still glorified till date. It is actually considered a symbol of love of Lord Ram for Mother Sita. So I was just thinking of that famous Tulsidas Chopai about how he first prayed, just like Mataji said, that you should first request, but when you see that somebody is very dull-headed and will not respond, then sometimes you have to show some anger. जैसे बच्चे को भी anger दिखानी पड़ती है ना, because you understand that person is not knowledgeable enough to understand things on their own. So भगवान के लिए बोला जाता है, he said, विनय न मानत जल्दी जड़ गए 3 दिन बीत, बोले राम सकोप तब भय बिन होय न प्रीत. It's a very famous Chapai. So he had to invoke some fear in the ocean to make him serve him. Okay, I think we should stop here. We've read for an hour, but we completed 15 verses and this chapter has 55. So if you wish, we can, till the date of Ram Navmi, including the day of Ram Navmi, which is Tuesday, we can keep reading every day for a little bit, whoever is able to join. Typically we read Bhagavatam in the evening, so if you're available, we can just keep reading other, 15, 20 verses for next 2-3 days and finish off this chapter. Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining. Shri Ram, Lakshman, Sita, Hanuman ki jai. Mahamotsav Shri Ram Navmi ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha Kaltarubhascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.